What's going on, everybody? This is MDENT313, and I'm back at y'all with another one. Listen, Mikey Garcia is the gift that just keep on giving. In the same interview, I went back and finished the interview, right? You know, the one where he talked about, he gave his opinion on the Terrence Crawford-Canelo Alvarez fight. But the interviewer asked him, do he want to see and what's his thoughts on Gervonta Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson fight? And Mikey Garcia, he said, Shakur Stevenson is a great fighter. He's a great boxer. He get on his toes. He can hit and not get hit. He understands the sweet science very well. He's a phenomenal boxer. He can get on his toes. He can fight on the front foot, fight on the back foot. But he's a safety first fighter. He's pretty much a defensive wizard. And he said when you're watching guys like Tank is an action fighter, right? He can walk you down, break you down, beat you up, knock you out. He's pretty much a fan-pleasing style. Now, he said, as a fighter and as a former boxer, he respects Shakur Stevenson's skill. But as a fight fan, he don't want to see that fight. Because he feel like, with Shakur Stevenson's style, it's going to be a boring fight. He pretty much believed that Shakur Stevenson is going to quote-unquote run from Tank Davis. And if you guys don't know what that means in boxing, running, people don't really run. You have rare situations where a guy is in safety first mode where he's pretty much not in there trying to win the fight. He's just in there trying not to get knocked out. That's what the real definition of running means in boxing. But what a lot of fighters will do to pure boxers, they'll say that those guys are runners because they can't hit them. They used to say that about Floyd Mayweather, and the irony is, even though Floyd was a master defensive fighter, Floyd was actually one of the most offensive fighters out there. Floyd got plenty of knockouts. Now, he may not have one-punch power to knock you out like a Deontay Wilder or a Roberto Duran or a Tommy Hearns, but Floyd will knock you out from, an accumulation of punches, because he know how to put his punches together very well. He punch in sequence, punch in combination, and he's a vicious counter puncher, pretty much like a Terrence Crawford, right? Now, this is what I don't understand, right? In boxing, there is something, I won't say everybody, but there is something that can negate an attribute, right? If you're fighting a boxer, if you know how to cut the ring off, then you can eliminate a lot of that unnecessary movement. If you cut the ring off and you jab and you use your feints to keep him, stationary or freeze him, you get what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that you can do, or it's a few things that you can do to pretty much keep a guy from moving so much. If you pivot the right way, if you feint the right way, if you use your jab correctly, if you strategically know how to cut the ring off, you won't have those issues. The problem is, a lot of fighters, what they'll do is they'll circle the guy that's on his toes, that's boxing you and jabbing and moving around, and he might counter you, he might, hook you off to the body and move and get out the way. What a lot of fighters will do, they'll get caught following the guy around the ring, and that's not what you're supposed to do. If you want to see a guy do a great job of cutting the ring off, look at Mike Tyson. He used his jab, he slipped and moved, he came forward, and he used his jab as he was coming forward. Tommy Hearns was another fighter that don't get nearly enough credit for his boxing acumen. A lot of times people think just because you're bouncing around on your toes like Muhammad Ali, that you're using good foot movement. You don't have to bounce around on your toes to utilize good foot movement. knowing where you at in the ring and knowing how to get your opponent to where you want him to be, that's a sign of an intelligent fighter and good foot movement. Now Muhammad Ali, because he also understood that and he could get on his toes, it made him that much more dangerous. But if you want to look at somebody cut the ring off, look at Mike Tyson, look at Tommy Hearns, look at Floyd Mayweather. When, you know, it's times where Floyd Mayweather, when he's not on his toes and he's fighting another pure boxer, what Floyd Mayweather would do, he would then turn into, because he could fight in all styles, he would then turn into the pressure fighter. And he would slow down like he did with Zab Judah. He put up the high guard and he strategically walked him down, and he did it behind the jab. It's not rocket science. And he pivoted and he feinted. He moved laterally. He kept the jab out there, even if it's just it's not a, you don't necessarily got to throw a stiff jab. You know, you just throw the rangefinder out there just to keep him from doing too much excessive movement. Canelo, if you watch Canelo Alvarez, a lot of times Canelo Alvarez, it take him a lot longer because Canelo Alvarez don't have the fastest feet, but Canelo Alvarez do a good job using, you know, cutting the ring off on guys who like to utilize a lot of movement. He wasn't always like that, but over the course of time, from fighting so many pure boxers, Canelo Alvarez has become good at it. And these fighters, if you want to be considered an all-time great, you have to show that you can beat all styles. The reason why Terrence Crawford is the pound-for-pound champion, because he has routinely beat all styles. It don't matter if it's the traditional boxer, it don't matter if it's the come forward aggressive fighter, it don't matter if it's the pure counter puncher, it don't matter if it's the Eastern European herky jerky awkward style, it don't matter if it's the Yuriokis Gamboa explosive peekaboo style, it don't matter what style it is. The guy who likes to dart in and out, we seen Terrence Crawford beat every single style imaginable. We seen Floyd Mayweather beat every single style. And the hilarious thing about it is, they didn't beat every single style with their own signature style. They utilized what they needed for the job. We seen James Toney do it. We've seen the legendary Roy Jones do it. But these fighters of today are so lazy that they want you to come to them. They want you to negate what you do well to suit their particular boxing style. If Tank Davis is the best that he's claiming he is, he should have no trouble with a Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney or anybody. I mean, it's so ridiculous that some fighters got to do things like choose to fight in a smaller ring so his opponent can't move too much. How ridiculous is that? To take away what somebody does well from a technicality. Like, if you don't want the guy to move so much, stop him from moving so much. That'll be like watching football and let's just say the Lions, because they got an explosive offense. That's like the Washington Commanders telling the referees, listen, I don't want to play the Detroit Lions because I don't like their style. They score too many points, they run too many trick plays, they got too much speed, they too fast, they too explosive. Ben Johnson is just too good of a coordinator. So they limit Ben Johnson's playbook to suit the Washington Commanders. Do you realize how ridiculous that would be? But that's the type of stuff that go on in boxing. And they do it with these weight clauses. They do it weight draining, making people come below a weight that they need to come to. They make guys where you can't rehydrate past 10 pounds the next day of the fight or the next day of the weigh-in. So you at a weakened state. They can determine the size of the ring. Could you imagine if the NBA did some goofy stuff? Well, the NBA technically have. but not for a particular team or a particular player. But they've done it for the sport to try to make it more offensive. So they kind of handicap the defense. But you get what I'm saying for the most part. That'd be like the Detroit Pistons. Like, you know what? I'm not playing the OKC Thunder because their defense is too good. We don't want no hand checking. They can't touch me when I get past when I get past half court. They're not allowed to put their arms up to try to block my shot. Like, that's what goes on in boxing. And it is absolutely ridiculous. Now, I don't think Mikey Garcia per se mind seeing that fight, but I think he's speaking from the typical fight fan who just want to see Rock'em Sock'em Robots, because he understands how boxing works. I think he'll be happy to see the fight, but a lot of fans who don't understand how boxing works, he understands that they're going to complain because it's going to be a lot of moving, and 9 times out of 10, Tank will not be able, even if he's able to beat Shakur Stevenson, he won't be able to knock him out because he can't effectively cut the ring off. And that's why he's not fighting guys like a Devin Haney, a Shakur Stevenson. I think he'll get Teofimo Lopez, but he's picking and choosing his opponents very, very wisely because he can't cut the ring off. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.